Has the state already talked to them about it?
I think it's still in the phases of, the study for the state, I think.
Yeah, and, you know, this is the only, that's an ingress and, so fire truck is stuck there. It's a problem for the residents.
Right.
We have little fire trucks now.
No. Okay.
This is just for, knowledge
Yeah,
at this point, right?
it's just for, did they switched it around, they put residential right
Yeah,
there. You're behind now,
right.
they're trying to switch to residential.
All single family units?
Yeah, and then it goes over to, it's like either apartments or townhouses is the engine, and then it goes to commercial all through the top, right next to the expressway.
That's where he's thinking hotels, right?
I think they took that out.
Oh, they did?
I think they took that
Yeah,
out.
these are just those,
The high-rise,
the well buildings.
Yeah, with a big-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, either that or patio homes he was talking about. So, they just wanted to get you guys a copy.
Thank you.
Jay, you got the minutes?
Yipper.
Any problems with any of the bills?
Good to me.
Jeff, you take the bills?
Since I review.
Zero correspondence, personal affairs, special permit. And
Special permit, don't know, I didn't go over real good, don't know how many roads we go down. Estimate how many roads,
Yeah, the picture, is determined as needed. He's taking it off his property and take it to another location. So he's not gonna mind taking it off. So I think he's gonna have to put out there because he was doing some,
filling somewhere.
but I didn't know that. I know he was doing that study over there for, something. Pretty much a little off on the way and take some of the gravel and stuff off there. They don't take, I take some,
Tough out.
yeah, but the farmers over there, he's got some stuff on him, so as soon as the farmers over there, take something else.
During the winter or early spring?
I think now. Jay, you take Roy's?
Yep.
So, Jay, keep the site plan into it. Yep. Jay's, Zach, we take the potluck dinner
Mm-hmm.
in the historical society.
Mm-hmm.
We got on here, town park, the pond restoration bids.
I only see two.
Jason and I had kind of discussed it. He has put it out, I believe, 4 companies,
We got one for,
and only got 2 back. But other than that, I don't know anything.
Yeah. We're not doing that
I
then.
got Granite for 13.
Right.
I got
That kind of money, you need 3, you think you can know that.
Yeah, that's it. You can keep trying.
What's
Yeah.
this one? Is this one for you? Oh, no.
That's roof.
Yeah.
There's just two.
This is-
8425 for England.
Yeah, 8425 and then 14,500.
Well, 39,000. to the pond, 14,000.
14,584.25 it looks like.
You good about those? Did you get a chance to read through them?
Well, Jason told me he's contacted all kinds of people and nobody gets back to him on prices, nobody wants to do it, so.
Nobody wants it
And I
clean?
mean, this is from the last board meeting, 2 weeks
Right.
ago, and he's got the same.
Right, yeah, I know he's
people-
called a bunch of people in
Yeah,
there.
and
and-
nobody
What's the
gets back.
DEC, does anybody, Mike, has he touched base with you about, you know, DECs, the fish? I mean, because we're gonna drain it off into the secondary drainage, it's gonna go down to 18 miles, is that okay with them?
Well, that ain't gonna make it leak.
You don't think it'll make it through all that water going into that creek right next to it?
It's pushing it into the woods from what I was told, it's all going into the woods area. Well, it's
You
all-
can't, you gotta put up sediment control, you can't just drain pond out into the floodplain.
Yeah, you're gonna have, I mean, did he give you anything on it?
I have a few pieces of paperwork there, but I haven't had a chance to really look through.
Okay.
He dropped it off.
All right, if there's anything in there, give it to Mike with the DEC or only copies of it, because I don't wanna just be draining something off and then come and say, oh, you just dumped, you know, how many gallons of water into a floodplain,
Right.
and make sure that's okay with the DEC before.
That's not Mike's job. It's-
No, I'm just saying, I don't wanna just open it up and dump it into, although I know we have water back there, that's a natural drain off, but I don't wanna dump in, you know, a whole pond into it and have them breathing down our door about it. All right,
He's got something here, and you may be able to tell me about it. It's like it's a stream disturbance. I mean, I don't know if that means it's just an application, I don't see anything that says that it's been approved.
yeah, we need something from the DEC, for sure.
You wanna take a peek at this?
Yeah.
How many gallons of water do you think?
Yeah.
Get in touch with you.
Not that, it's not that deep, it's only 6 feet deep.
I know that we'll be dumping
That
that
the
in.
deepest part.
Yeah, I think that just to get something okay from them in writing that says we can do that
Yeah.
would be beneficial for the town, and we're just not dumping the water out there. The next one is, so I'm gonna just table it, so we get more information on it, and get something from the DEC. Installation bids for highway roof. This is where we took it down, they're redoing the roof, I got 3 bids here, 8,500. From Buffalo Energy, they're not foam, 13,000. Not foam, 17,000. Maple Guy Construction was a no-show for the quote. So I got 2 quotes, I'll try and get a third one, I don't mind waiting for a third one. There's a big difference in price, they can foam those 2 sections we took down where there was a leak up on the roof, and it stained it, it was a little wet, I think, we had a hole in the roof there. But
You got more people that you can ask about, right?
we're calling it on.
Yeah, how's that figured into the project that
This is not covered under FEMA.
okay, so, does the work tie in together? I mean, does this have to be done before the?
No, this gets done after. So I do have a little bit of time,
Yeah.
because the roof will be done first, and then they'll come in and they'll foam spray those huge
Okay,
sections
all right, yeah,
inside there, and then
I
I don't have to,
yeah.
yeah, I don't have to worry about it. And I
Okay.
thought, you know, this guy came down, his price I thought was really good. But I'll try and get one more for us, I'll try and get that Maple Guy Construction out here. There's not a ton of people who do foam spraying. So I don't have a problem tabling
Must not be
that one.
hungry enough.
Well, you know, yeah, between punt season and apple season and triathlon season and everything else. And it's
So,
pretty
Maria
I don't know.
Gamoka. Okay. I don't mind taking that one.
Her deposit was received yesterday.
What form does the resolution have to take for that, for the roof? What exactly do we?
For the foam or for the?
No, for the roof.
For the regular FEMA project.
Well,
We have to put out bids.
yeah.
Let me just finish this and I'll let you go through it.
Yeah, we have to discuss that.
Okay.
What's next?
Well, I know, let me just run through everything and let him go right through it, because we can't do it. We have to put it out, Michael expensive, so that has to be taken. Ice rink. This falls under what we were working for our 200th anniversary for the town, for the ice rink. The rink size is on there. They're gonna come in and take care of it, they'll set it up, they'll take it down. We're gonna put it right out there in the grassy area for them. It's ours, we'll own it. They'll come
Will they
store it.
surface the ice?
They'll surface the ice. Yep.
And that's all included in that price?
Scott will only have to snow blow a path to it.
Was that $90, was that a month or a week, or every time they come, or what?
That is, the $90 is every time they come, but
Right.
they only come once every 2 weeks.
It does say one time per week in this.
Yeah, but we can cross it off and do it, once every 2 weeks. I said, I don't think the first opening, I want it every week. Then after that, I think it'll slow down with the kids and people using it. I think we can do it every 2 weeks, but they actually come with a little Zamboni and hot water, and they do the ice. So, which is really nice.
Can it be something that we can call as needed?
Sure we can, sure we can. And that's not a problem, Scott can handle that too. Scott can just put a call into him because he's gonna be snow blowing over there and say, you know, we need it to.
He's got a snowball path just to the ice rink?
Yeah.
What happens when there's a foot of snow
Snow
on the ice?
He might have to snow blow that off.
No, I thought there's something in there for that, I thought.
No, he might have to snow blow it
An
off.
additional snow removal service charge will apply for rinks with an excess of 2 inches of snow on the rink.
I'll have Scott snow
So
blow it.
that's just saying that, yeah, it's gonna cost more if there's,
I
if
think
it's
this,
not clean.
I think the ice rink, knowing what Hamburg gets, and the one up in the village, the use of it, for the $4,600 to buy it, for renting it, it's not worth it, because in renting you pay for it in 2.5 years. It's just not worth it. They take it up, they set it down, they maintain it, and then all I have to do is, we fill it up with our water from our fire hose, it does it, he's gonna go through all of it with us.
If we were to rent it, would
You still have to pay for.
you still have to pay for the maintenance every week, right?
Right. Yeah, and I talked to Scott about it, he sat in that meeting, he doesn't mind snow blowing it, and even if it got a lot of snow, he would clear it off.
Okay,
I'm all for
There's
it.
not a lot for it in winter.
Yeah, the only thing is we have to touch base with our insurance agents and let them know that, you know, we got this on site. And,
Yeah.
and, you know,
You're right around
Yeah,
it.
should be covered.
okay.
should we hold off on voting on it until we have that?
No,
I have to get this done.
just maybe raise your.
This is
premium.
part of,
Right.
Part of
And then what about storage of it?
They store it.
Anyway.
They store it.
What, I'm sorry?
They were already
Take it off,
insured,
there's
there's
no
a
storage.
lawsuit.
Scott does not have to take it down, he doesn't have to mess with it
There
at
was
all.
another one.
You know,
Who's taking that?
I'll take it. So. Application fees, no cost from fire company.
We held that last time only because you weren't here. They wanna reserve for the gala. Unless this is a different one.
Nope, this is the gala one.
Yeah, it's the gala again. We've always previously never let anybody put one in before January 1st for the following year. So when we tabled it, I mean, we're gonna save the date for them, we're gonna give it to them. Do we wanna just approve it now, or do we
Just
wanna not
approve it.
open that door?
Well, the rules are the rules.
Did we
that's
hold
okay.
them? Did we
Right,
hold
That's
them?
why I wouldn't agree.
The form
Exactly.
itself says, a request may be submitted after September 1st of the year before your event. It's right on the application.
If that's the way it's typed, then we gotta abide by that.
Well,
I don't
if you
have a
submit
problem
it's
with it,
that-
we hold a date for them every single year, I don't have a problem with it, just approve it, get it done.
Well, this is the
Unless that's
type
gonna
one that
pop
they
back up.
typed, and that's submitted by two, so.
So, I don't have a problem with it, so,
Well, you can submit it, it doesn't have to be approved.
Jeff, you wanna take that one?
Does establish a pecking order for being submitted.
Okay, we're, you know what, you got the CBC, don't you, Jeff?
What's that?
You're doing the public hearing?
Oh, yeah.
Zach, you wanna take that one, for the use of facility?
Sure.
Okay. Jeff, you got the public hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mike.
Okay, the gentleman, Sean came in with a proposal for the roofing project. His company has, Garland Inc. has some type of contracts dealing with the US government where I don't fully understand it, but somehow he gets ties into for equipment and supplies and materials, which lessens the amount of contracts. His company basically takes the place of us doing the bidding, getting the contractors, getting the bonding. It's a one-stop shop, everything, from what I understand, it does the whole thing. The state amended the statute, General Municipal Law in 2013, 103, and what they did, they called this a piggyback provision. That law establishes that any services contracted for by the town must be given to the lowest possible bidder, if reasonable. This amendment is like a piggyback to that, and so that the town can also use the best value contract. It does not, it directly excludes personal works projects. And we have to establish a local public law so that it complies with our purchasing law, because we can't violate our own purchasing law. So we have to, if we're gonna use this, we would have to, and I've prepared I've got several copies of proposal laws, I know which one's the best. And we can set a hearing date for just for that local law to pass it. But in my communications and dealings with the Association of Towns twice, with two separate attorneys, indicated that the comptroller, and I've spoken to the state comptroller directly, this is a public service or public works project, and the best value would not apply. I've got that in writing from two separate attorneys from the Association of Towns. So I don't think, Sean looks like he has a good project. I spoke to, several counties, and one which is closest to us is Chautauqua County out of, not Mayville, Jamestown, and they are using it for a roofing project. And I said, how are you doing this? He said, well, I'm not sure, you gotta talk to somebody else to do it. And I think these smaller towns just don't have the staff or don't take the time to research it. I mean, it's a good project, they're gonna save 10, 15, whatever it is, and they're gonna jump at it. But that may come back to bite them down the road. I think the best way to go, and, I spoke to Jim Hannon, and, I think we just ought to just run it by the books, just like we did the paving yard. Jim said he could put together a bid proposal by October 5th, which is their next meeting, publish it, send it out for bid, open the bid, and then just go with the lowest possible bidder. I think if we're ordering down the road, we did it, the way the statute said we should do it, we did it upon the advice of the comptroller's office and upon the advice of the associations of town. Not to say that Sean doesn't have a good idea. I'm sure there's some areas which is appropriate. They tried to explain it to me, and it just went over my head. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's got a broad application. I mean, it'd be ideal. When somebody walks in and says, what do you want? You want a swimming pool? You want, you want paving done? You want a building? We'll do it, you just tell us, and, we'll take care of it. Bonding, bidding, and this and that. But, New York State is very protective of their trades. You want union wages on it. They want to be sure that the citizens are getting the best possible value for the buck. And it appears to me, since it's just a new thing, there's not a whole lot of examples or law on it. And I think the safe and prudent thing to do is just like we did for the paving, from the FEMA dollars. Let's get Jim Hannon to work up a series of proposals, bring it up to the next town board meeting, put it out for bid, put it in the paper, and then have an opening of bid, and then award the contracts, just like we usually do. If Sean wants to come in with his company, and as long as he complies with all the state requirements, so be it.
Okay.
What's the timeline then?
Timeline would be
So the next board meeting is what, October?
October the 5th. So,
Okay, so then it's gonna be in the paper for how many days, 2 weeks? So would it be awarded by the second meeting of October? Because next thing you know is November, and I believe the weather's gotta be cooperating, otherwise this project won't happen, and we'll probably lose our FEMA money.
Well, the FEMA money goes to 2018.
Yeah.
They extended it again.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It was always extended, Ken was wrong, it was
Oh.
extended to 2018.
So we got 27 months on it.
But I agree with you that the coating they're using is temperature,
Mhm.
and so we might end up by patching some of that.
Just like the spray foam, it's gotta be like 70 degrees
Yeah.
for him to do that, so.
Mhm.
Which, I talked to the guy, I mean, the weather will be decent because it'll heat up the roof, and we can always turn the heaters on inside just to create the extra heat that we need. But time is of the essence.
Right.
No, I think outside temperature, I don't know how you're gonna keep the outside temperature up.
No, for the spray foam.
Yeah, but I think the outside temperature has to be warm too, that can't be.
Even if it's in the sixties, you said if you turn the heat on, it'll heat the metal of the roof that's exposed, and it'll give it what it's need, but if it drops lower, you're exactly right. So we might end up by patching those small holes up there, Bob, that we could see the tiny ones
Mhm.
for the season, but whatever.
You know,
Put up just foam, or fiberglass batting again, so he's got insulation in it temporarily?
I don't know, we'll have to figure that out.
I mean, patching the holes isn't a big problem, we can go up there and tar them up, we've done it before.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it'll get us through the winter, but the insulation.
Insulation's
If we don't
the
have
issue.
insulation up there, we're gonna have a lot of heat loss.
Well, I can have the insulation, there's one part that has holes, I can insulate the rest. That one part has the holes, I can foam insulate the rest, and even if that one part is left open, we can get the styrofoam board up in there, Bob.
No, we can tar up the outside where the hole is, I don't know why they can't foam the inside if it's plugged up.
Well, I'll ask them, but by next meeting, we'll be awarding the foam so I can get it done.
okay, and I would tell Jim Hannon to start doing the specs, and then have them ready for the next board meeting on October the 5th.
Email them to Jim,
What,
specs are right off the FEMA.
man, Clerk, what are the timelines for both of you using, since we're not using the Hamburg Sun anymore? When does that have to be submitted and,
2 days before you want it published.
okay, good.
Do we have any news yet on the Hamburg Sun and the Springfield Journal coming back into print?
No, they started some other small papers there, I haven't heard anything from them yet.
I've heard that the Journal has been putting out notifications that they're supposed to be back in
I don't know,
publication.
they haven't said anything, I saw a small newspaper put out in Hamburg, the printing place is right across from Dairy Queen over there.
Yeah.
It's a small location,
Right.
so, wait for them. Okay, Mike, so,
Just be nice to go back to smaller, cheaper newspapers if we could.
if you get the FEMA specs, you can email them over to Jim Hannon,
Mm-hmm.
get it done. And this way, we'll get them out to Jim Hannon, get some bid packages together, and,
Yeah, would your secretary also have a copy of the FEMA specs, or? Okay, well, then I thought I'd go over Jim too, and Jim was
just
sent
scan
down.
them in.
Yeah, because Jim's leaving to go on vacation outside LA on the next day, October the 6th. So he's gonna have to have it done by the 5th.
Okay.
Or
I'll
never
get
have
the
to see
foaming
him.
done. I'll get that patched up, and we'll get the foaming done. So, get that ready to go. Okay. This is, just so you guys know, Roy Emmeline's thing, he just wanted everybody to take a look at it. Dropped it off to you, it's still in front of the planning board. It was all zoned industrial. We're trying to switch this around to residential behind metal right here, where metal sits right here in the white, close to the paper.
Now, is this current proposal in front of them right now?
It's in front of the planning board right now.
Okay.
They just wanted to drop it off so everybody had a chance to look at it. So meadow sits on the lowest part of it. These are gonna be individual, single-family homes through here. And then on the other side of it comes over a road that is right against the white part behind this lady's house. And it comes over to apartment complex he wants to put up through there. And then it cuts over to industrial, which is the green, which backs up to, that curve is the entrance to the expressway, the 219. So, we just wanted you guys all to know what's going on down there. You're still in front of the planning board and discussing it and going through, archaeological, no, I think they finished the archaeological studies over there.
I don't really find it, it's not,
I thought it was done until.
It's clear.
It's cleared,
is it clear? Okay.
yeah, it was cleared.
They keep getting tabled.
No dead Indians.
Yeah, so he was cleared
Table
on
at the
that.
planning
They're
board?
going to the next phase.
Or
Oh,
table?
no, push that.
Um,
You just need to push it through.
yeah.
Well, they just need to make a decision either way, because so it can come to the town board and.
Yeah, he's gotta, well, he's gonna, I think he'll have to go for some rezoning on that.
Yes,
Yeah, I think some of that will have to go for rezoning.
That's a town board action, not a planning board action.
Right.
Correct.
But he's gotta get through the planning board, pass it off to the town board.
right.
send it to the zoning.
And that's where we get caught into like a little bit of a quagmire, because in order for Jim Hand to make a recommendation, Jim has to have secret to know the impact of what the rezoning would be.
Mhm.
So that's really a quandary of a developer. I mean, which comes first, the rezoning or the secret? And, you know, for a developer to try and do both, one and the same, I mean, you can put a lot of money into proving that the secret, that the project's okay for the area, and then hope that you get the rezoning, you know, so that's what he's working on. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this new proposal was submitted in the last 30 days. I might be wrong. I think it's changed.
I didn't tell me any of that, so I couldn't answer that. I just know that he wanted to drop it off, to the town board. I think I said, go ahead, drop it off.
Sure.
So, you guys can all take a look at it. Bob, what you got?
I don't have a lot down. The parks truck, it sits down there for the last year and a half, 2 years, it doesn't run. It's the old dump truck. I suggest we put it on Auctions International and try to sell it online auction. That way we don't have to tow it or haul it to some auction place, so it's up to the board.
Do it.
Get rid of it.
Auctions International, do we have a price, how much we think it should be worth?
Have we tried selling it privately at all?
No, we haven't. It's that,
No, when we got the pickup, we just decided.
so we should get rid of it. It isn't getting any better sitting there.
Right.
What do you think, have you got any,
I would think with the motor, I mean, the motor doesn't run, the motor's in bad shape, so I would think we might get $4 or $5 grand for it with the plow. I mean, it's got a plow for it, and also get rid of the plow with it.
okay, I think that we should,
Plow good for any of the other trucks?
Hmm?
Plow good for any of the other trucks? or-
We got other
Yeah.
plows for our.
on that auction, can you, cause we usually always send it to the fairgrounds.
Well, it isn't at the fairgrounds anymore, it's over on 20 at Roy Emmerling's auction place. And the last couple of years, the turnout hasn't really been there. It's been poor.
Right,
I think Auctions International, you put it on there, you put a minimum bid, if you don't get what you want for it, you don't have to sell it.
Get rid of it.
You know, they come and pick it up, they pay you for it before they take it, and I mean, it's just a hassle getting that thing.
well, let's put a minimum bid on it then, and make a motion, put it out for auction tonight, and get rid of it then. Take it, you know, put a minimum bid of 4,000, is that the one Scott used to drive around?
Yeah.
I think we have to have a resolution to declare it as being surplus property, right, don't
Surplus equipment.
we? Yeah. And then we give you the authority to put it on the bid.
Okay, let's get it ready for next meeting then, and get done with it, good, and we'll do that, and then just get it ready for next meeting.
And it doesn't matter when, I mean,
Right. And this way I can just, maybe we'll Google it.
other than that, brush pickup starts again on October 3rd. We have wood chips available, we got fill available. And, down at the South Boston Park, we did quite a bit of paving down there, it's much better than it was, but maybe next year we'll do a little bit more paving and then oil and stone it, and it should be in good shape as far as that parking lot.
Which end of things, paved with that?
The
Did
parking
you,
lot we put in.
just the whole parking lot of them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nice.
it was in bad shape, we
Yeah.
just kind of resurfaced it.
okay.
That's pretty
Um,
nice.
North Boston Park, the stone that's there, that's not a big deal. Can we move it or spread it out? I think those kids are using it as a ramp for their motorcycles.
No, they don't ride in there no more, they were all,
They're good now with the state troopers?
you know, they were all told not to ride there, so we haven't had any problems in the last month and a half.
Okay. So now they're using
But
it
we
as-
can go down and push the stone around.
Push the
a
stone
little.
around, okay, just in case. Jay,
Yeah,
Jeff,
I've been asked the status of the abandonment on Chestnut Lane. Where are we at? These guys wanna know what's going on. They petitioned for abandonment.
It'll be fine. It was a little confusing because unlike the other property on the other side of Mr. Burns' house, that was actually dedicated by a deed. And a deed which was recorded and on record. The development only went to the end of, or close to the end of Mr. Burns' house, and the other portion, although recorded, was not really used by the town as a road. So I don't think that there's any real road to abandon. I think that property is just town property, And if you look at the layout, I mean, it'd take a lot of money, but the town board had talked about a turnaround, so I don't know if that's still,
Exactly, and we should do a turnaround back there.
well, that's up to the town board to decide.
I will donate a piece of property if I have to,
And
free of charge, to do the turnaround for our plows can turn around.
so I think, I think we would sell it just like any other, you know, property that the town owns. We'd have to get an appraisal on it, so some type of an appraisal. You know, it's not a large parcel, we have to get, to establish the fair market value of it. And then we'd go by our policies in terms of, you know, putting it out on the open
And what
market.
happens if the landowners at the end of that property want access to the property there?
What, I'm sorry?
If the landowners, Mr. Goldberg and myself, want access to our property back there, I think there's gonna be a lawsuit. Because you can't sell that Ritz Road frontage, and that's to our property. That road could be extended. That's the town deeded road, that isn't a private road, that is deeded to the town.
Can I say something here, please?
No, wait, it is deeded to the town as a road, while the road, the town has never exercised their prerogative to use it as a road. You have not maintained it, you have not plowed it, it's not in any condition to be used as a road. So it's town property, and the town can, you know, keep it and have it just as it is, or the town can sell it.
Or we can extend it and put a turnaround for our trucks who turn around, send some landowner up there, block this off, and there's no place to turn around.
You could do that, again.
Okay,
But
well,
that's, but,
that's
Just
the
saying,
plan.
he's saying the options.
yeah, that's up to the town board to do what they wanna do. Whoever would buy it would then be subject to a 30-day permissive referendum, which means we'd have to publish in the paper the resolution saying we're selling to so-and-so for X amount of dollars. If anybody, if a petition is filed, 5% of the electorate that voted in the last gubernatorial election, then that sale, the price, the whole works that we did would then be up in front of the total town for a vote. And then if the town, you know, says okay with it, well then it goes through. If the town objects to it, it'll then be set aside. So that's where we're at.
So the same goes for the piece across the road,
Same for the,
all that land we own across the street would have to fall under the same thing.
oh yeah, right, yeah, it's property owned by the town.
Highway law states though, if it was deeded as a road and it's never been maintained or a road has never been built, the adjoining landowners can petition for abandonment. And so it wouldn't be surplus land if Bob says it's a road
Yeah,
dedicated by deed for road purposes, but it's never been built or brought up to town road standards, then it can be abandoned.
well, the thing is, we don't really have anything to abandon since there was never a road put on it.
But if it was dedicated or deeded
Oh, I see.
as a road, if
You-
it's quote unquote, whether it's built or not, if the intention was a road, but never built, you know, due to